Drennan will kick. Colorado leads the country in kick returns. They won't have a shot at this one. It bounces through the end zone, a touchback, and the Buffaloes will start it at their own 20-yard line. Led by Darian Hagan, the sophomore quarterback who has rushed 5 times this year for over 100 yards. Eric Kissick, a blocking fullback, and the speedster J.J. Flanagan. On a wing, it's Mike Pritchard. And a wide receiver, Jeff Campbell, who in 1986 as a walk-on freshman ran a reverse 39 yards for a touchdown against Nebraska, and a game that some say turned this program around. Out of the eye. Flag is down. Looked like Nebraska jumped. Hagan now will tuck it under, and he's to the 34-yard line. Tackled by Tahan Lewis, a 14-yard pickup by Hagan.
What a heads-up play, because he knew he had a free down. He knew there was a penalty flag thrown
and driven at the length of the field for a touchdown. Pritchard comes out in motion. Nelson is the receiver. Hagan almost tripped, and the ball was batted down by Mills. Jeff Mills jumped up, knocked it down.
This is one thing about Darian Hagan. When you talk to the Nebraska coaches, he is not particularly tall. They feel if they can get their hands up, they can make plays like that. But also, while you'll see Colorado roll Hagan out on the corner of the defense where he doesn't have to contend with that too much.
2nd down and 10. Campbell at the top of your screen. Buffs lining up in the power I, and they run it with J.J. Flanagan and a gain of 2. Smothered by Jeff Mills and Mike Petco. 5'10" Mike Murray is the nose tackle for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Ray Valido and Kent Wells on the defensive line. Linebackers, Petco in on that last tackle, and Pat Tyrants. Also Jeff Mills, who batted down that pass a moment ago, and Mike Kroll, who's a junior out of Sudbury, Massachusetts. 3rd and 7. M.J. Nelson to the left. Pritchard to the right.
And the audible by Hagan.
He sets Perrick, the tight end, back on the right side. Play action. Hagan throwing, and it's intercepted. Yes, it's intercepted by the Cornhuskers. Tyrone Bird, the freshman who has stepped in at free safety today, making the pickoff at the 49-yard line.
You know, John Dockery talked about the free safety position being so important for Nebraska today. And Tyrone Bird, playing the free safety position, sees the flow of the play and steps right in front of Pritchard. He read the eyes of Hagan and then had enough speed and enough burst to make the play.
For Hagan, that's only the 4th interception this year. Nebraska takes over at its 49-yard line. Carpenter, the lone setback, behind Jerry Godowski, the quarterback. Looking pass, setting up a screen. They go to Carpenter. He gets away from Salavia and cuts back to the middle. He's got room. Inside the 40, inside the 30, he's going to score. Nebraska on the first play of the day for Nebraska. 51 yards and a touchdown. They are stunned in Bolden. Greg Barrios will attempt the extra point for Nebraska. Flag is down. No, the flag is not down, and the kick is good.
Jim, this play was set up beautifully. 3 offensive linemen in front of Carpenter, and then his eyes. You see his head up the whole time. He picked up those blocks, read them beautifully, and cut back into the end zone. A terrific call on the first play of the game. You're facing an emotional team that's trying to put pressure on a guy. You come back with the screenplay. Nice first call.
Quick 7 here. Drennan kicks again. Pritchard Fields it at the goal line, hesitates, and now kneels. Touchback, bring it out to the 20. And let's go down with a report to John Dockery.
Jim, along the Colorado sidelines, there's a sense of real shock. Guys are very quiet sitting on the bench, but even so, there wasn't a sense of panic. They all stood before the kickoff with their helmets in the air, something they do as a tradition to support the kickoff return team. So they are shocked, but they're certainly not in any kind of panic or sense of emergency. Back to you, Jim.
And we saw Eric Bieniemy on the sidelines. He's anxious to play. It's only the third time this year Colorado has trailed in a game. Another flag is down. I believe Nebraska jumped again. Center for Colorado, arguably the best offensive line in the country. Joe Garton at guard along with Darren Muhlenberg. And the tackles are Bill Coleman and Mark Vanderpool. John Perrick, the tight end. I mentioned Vanderpool, number 72. He's 6'8", 300 pounds, manning.
They're going to have to be patient.
1st and 5. Hemingway is the fullback now, and Flanagan, the tailback, gets the carry, but only a yard. Tackled by Joe Sims, who just came in the game for Valado. In the defensive backfield for Nebraska, Bruce Pickens at one corner, and Tyrone Leggett. The safeties, Reggie Cooper and Tyrone Bird. Has already made the interception that set up the first touchdown.
And Jim, this defense has more speed than Tom Osborne has ever had on defense. And I think it was the Orange Bowl loss last year to Miami that made them realize if they were going to win a national championship, they needed more speed.
We'll call it no gain for Flanagan. 2nd and 5 up the middle with Hemingway. And he's about a yard short at the 29-yard line. Again, Sims on the tackle.
We said at the top of the show, both of these offenses are very similar. You're going to see virtually the same kind of plays. You're going to see a wingback. You'll see power I plays, and then you'll also see option plays. Really, the Colorado team and Bill McCartney has really patterned their offense after the Nebraska team, the success that they've had in the Tom Osborne era.
3rd and less than a yard. They have to get to the 30-yard line for the first down. Kissick's back in at fullback. Colorado is a perfect 17 for 17 this year on 3rd and 1. They have never failed. And that streak continues as Flanagan dives over the 30-yard line to the 32, tackled by Sims and Caliendo.
And Jim, that's no accident. 18 times now in short yardage, 18 times they converted, because it's an attitude around Colorado. They practice it. They're in short yardage situations a lot because of the style of their offense, but they spend a lot of time talking about it, thinking about it, and practicing it.
Well, you see number 2, J.J. Flanagan, in the huddle for Bill McCartney's team. Flanagan has stepped in for Bieniemy the last 2 weeks and has rushed for over 100 yards. 1st and 10. Look out. Hagan is knocked down by Kenny Walker. And what a story Kenny Walker is for this Nebraska team.
But what he has is tremendous speed. In the passing situations, they bring Kenny Walker in, number 57, who comes in unblocked. And the remarkable story, Jim, as you just started, here is a young man who is deaf. And he has overcome incredible obstacles to be a big part of this defense. He's a terrific lip reader. He reads the linebackers' lips as they call the defense. And if there's an audible or an adjustment on defense, one of the outside linebackers will touch his back.
Lost his hearing at the age of 2 after a high fever. 2nd and 19, the run, Flanagan. And again, it's Walker on the tackle. Flanagan picks up about 7 to the 30-yard line.
Well, the story of this game, this early in the game, has been the Nebraska defense. They came up with the interception. They're getting the Colorado offense out of rhythm. This is the 2nd, 3rd, and long situation they've been in. Colorado is a team that needs to be in 3rd and 2 situations to win, not 3rd and 12.
Campbell to the left, Pritchard to the right. No flag at the line. Hagan's going long. Campbell's the man down there. Incomplete at the 25-yard line. Tahan Lewis got a hand on it. They went to their big play man, Jeff Campbell.
Boy, Tahan Lewis, you're right, number 5, did a great job of adjusting, as Campbell did. Oftentimes, it's very difficult for the defensive back to make this kind of adjustment without interference, but Lewis did a sensational job of knocking the ball away from Campbell.
You're looking at Tom Ruin, the nation's leading punter. a junior from Littleton, Colorado, averaging over 46 yards a punt. Tyrone Hughes on the return for Nebraska. He makes the fair catch. Signal at the 28-yard line. It's a 43-yard punt for Ruin. But back comes Nebraska, touching the football now for the second time. At quarterback, Carpenter, the fullback, who scored the touchdown. Ken Clark at tailback. On a wing, Richard Bell. And the split end for Nebraska is Morgan Gregory. Football is at the 28-yard line. Second snap of the day for Nebraska. They run it with Clark. He's past the 30 to the 31-yard line. Tackled by Joel Steed. Joel Steed helps lead the way on that defensive front for Colorado. Youngest starter on defense, by the way, a sophomore. Arthur Walker and Oakland Salavia are the defensive tackles. What a linebacking core they have. Terry Johnson and Michael Jones. They're in on a lot of tackles. And on the outside, they can come up with big plays. Alfred Williams and Canavis McGee.
Best front seven I have seen this year, Jim.
2nd and 6 for Nebraska. Play action, getting the pass away, intended for Nate Turner. Nate Turner had come in at a wingback position. Now, we were talking about that powerful Colorado offensive line. Nebraska's got a good one as well. Jake Young, an All-America last year. Jim Wanek and Bill Bobora at guard. And the tackles, Tom Punt and Doug Glazier. Tight end is Monty Kraftenstein.
And they'll use a lot of two tight end formations as well as they do right now.
Chris Garrett is the extra tight end. Out of the eye. Fumbled on the exchange. Godowski falls on it. And Nebraska will face 4th down and punt.
You know, it's interesting because Nebraska is kind of unique on their exchanges between center and quarterback. The center actually snaps the ball before the snap count, and sometimes you can have bad exchanges like that. Here it is. Have another look at it. It's kind of unusual. For years, people have thought the Nebraska centers are incredibly quick, but actually they snap the ball before the quarterback makes the snap count.
Mike Stiggy is the freshman punter for Nebraska. Jeff Campbell returns for Colorado. Fair catch call by Campbell at the 30-yard line. 8 minutes, 33 seconds left in the first quarter, and Nebraska leading it 7-0. As we go back to John Dockery.
You know, Jim, obviously the touchdown scored by Nebraska was an important one, but the play that set it up, the interception by Tyrone Bird, the freshman playing free safety, was even more important because before he went out in the field, his eyes were the size of silver dollars. That play has given him some confidence, and now they're down to the size of his 50-cent piece. Back to you.
It's deflation.
Running the option on 1st down. Hagan has it. He has room. He's got one man to beat. Now he pitches to Flanagan, and he may take it all the way. Flanagan's in for the touchdown. Sky for Sal Aunese, their spiritual leader and honorary captain. 70 yards, J.J. Flanagan straddled the sidelines but did not step out. Culbertson with the extra point, and it's tied at 7.
Jim, will remember at the top of the show, we said what made Hagan so dangerous is that he pitches the ball at unusual times. Most quarterbacks will not pitch the ball 40 yards downfield, but that's what makes Hagan so difficult to defend. He picks up a block by Campbell, and then after a 40-yard gain, he pitches the ball off to Flanagan, and you just cannot defend that. This has been a team of big play.
But they're going to get in anyway.
You were at the local market last night trying to pick up a couple of oranges, weren't you?
J.J. Flanagan.
Wow.
This game means so much to him because of a game last year. Nebraska won last year 7-0 against Colorado. And J.J. Flanagan had a potential tying touchdown run. He fumbled the football out in the open. He's lived with that for a year. And he's looked forward to coming back and avenging that costly turnover. He has already. The game now tied at 7. Ken Culbertson kicks. Leotis Flowers and Richard Bell return for the Cornhuskers. Big kick by Culbertson. Flies through the end zone, and Nebraska brings it out to the 20. Pat, one thing about the Cornhuskers, they are 8-0, but they have played in obscurity, and they have not played a top 25 team this year. They're an unknown factor.
Well, people, and I think that's scary if you're Colorado trying to play them. And I talked to some of the Nebraska coaches right before the field, and they had a smile on their face as they were telling me, we're pretty good. We are a very good football team. We think we're going to prove it today. We can play with anybody.
From the 20 on first down. Running right with Clark. No gain. Tackled by Alfred Williams. Michael Jones came in on the assist.
Alfred Williams has grown as a player at Colorado for the last 3 years. He started as a freshman 2 years ago, a third down player, a sack specialist. Last year he played the run. This year he's doing them both. He's rushing the passer, he has 8.5 sacks, and then he can play over tight end and stuff the run. He has had an All-America type of year.
And he is joined on the outside by Canavis McGee. They both hail from Houston, as does Arthur Walker on that defensive line. 2nd and 10. Clark is going to be dropped by Williams for a loss.
If Colorado is going to slow down this offense, they are going to have great play from their outside linebackers. Right there, again, is Williams. Because Nebraska is a perimeter offense. They want to get the ball to the corner of the defense. He fights through a guy. He gets blocked, but he comes right back up. It's hard to cut him because he's so quick. He uses those hands, gets right back up to make the play. Alfred Williams has made a tremendous difference on this Colorado defense this year.
He has made the last 2 tackles. The last one was for a 5-yard loss, so it's 3rd and 15. Nate Turner comes in as a receiver. Godowski hands off inside to Carpenter, and only a gain of 2. Joel Steed on the tackle.
Well, this game is a game of high emotion and momentum. Right now, you can hear the crowd and the emotion all on the Colorado side. And Joel Steed, the nose tackle, number 93, stunted. Mike Hankwitz, the defensive coordinator of Colorado, says to win today, our defensive front has to stunt, has to move around.
Stiggy to punt for the 2nd time. The return man, Campbell, leads the Big 8 in punt returns. Short boot coming to midfield. Campbell will run right. Gets away from the wave. He's got room. Inside the 30. Out of bounds inside of the 5. The punter pushed him out. A 47-yard punt return by Jeff Campbell.
You know, Jim, I thought there was actually a clip on the side of this by number 6. Right there, I thought he blocked the man behind, although Campbell did a nice job of getting through the wedge. The side judge was right there, did not call it. And that was Eric Hamilton, a free safety, a backup free safety, but a great block downfield by number 26, Julian Hayward. And that's what this team does so well, play well together.
1st and goal from the 4. Out of the power I, running the option and going with Flanagan on the pitch. He is hunted down by Tyrone Bird for a loss on the play.
That's 2 big plays by Tyrone Bird already. the interception, and he was one-on-one out there in the flat with J.J. Flanagan, and believe me, Flanagan's got some speed. So the concern about the free safety position for Nebraska, they have to be feeling a lot better about it.
Bird from Chandler, Arizona, a high school quarterback there. He arrived last year with a cracked leg bone and was unable to play his freshman year, so he redshirted. Has stepped in and looked good early. Second and goal from the 6. Hemingway in at fullback. Hagan will keep off right tackle. Gets to the 1-yard line. Mike Murray wrapped him up at the 1.
Darian Hagan needs to have a big game today for Colorado to win, but it doesn't necessarily need to be a big statistical day. If he can get his team the right formations, call the right audibles, decide when to pitch and when to keep it, even if he doesn't score 3 touchdowns, Colorado has an excellent chance of winning.
Pat, it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 1. We've already discussed Colorado's success in this situation.
And at short yardage and goal line, low man wins.
Running the option. Hagan will keep, and he'll go in untouched. Culbertson to attempt the extra point. He is 44 for 44 on the year and stays true.
What makes this Colorado team so hard to defend is they can hammer the ball inside with a big fullback, so you have to respect that. You respect the inside fake, but then you got speed on the outside. And again, that play was pretty well defended, and that's what makes him so hard to defend. Even when you defend him well, Hagan can still score touchdowns.
And look at Eric Bieniemy, injured and out and on the sidelines cheering him on.
Godowski and the Nebraska offense is to make sure they don't have 3 plays and punt, because right now you're seeing a team with emotion, high emotion, and a very keyed up team in Colorado. They need to get at least a couple of first downs, take some of the emotion of the Colorado team and crowd out of the game.
This kick not as deep by Culbertson. Flowers returns it from a yard deep in the end zone. He's got a man in front of him to block. Flowers with a big return to the 40-yard line, but a flag is down at the 30.
Middle of the screen, from the back, a clear clip.
So instead of the 40, the Huskers start at the 15. Carpenter and Clark in the backfield. Out of there in motion is Bell. Running the option. Godowski gets past the 20 to the 21-yard line. John Dockery, what's up, Doc?
You know, Jim, I want you to come over here and take a look at J.J. Flanagan's wristband. We talked about how much Sal Aunese means to his team. Well, he's certainly not forgotten. A lot of guys wearing Sal's number, his name on their jerseys. J.J. Flanagan, he dedicates every play to his old friend Sal Aunese. A little extra added inspiration. Now back to you guys.
Well, J.J. Flanagan, John, was a man who was crying before last week's game as he remembered how much Sal Aunese wanted to play against Oklahoma.
2nd down and 4. Clark spins for the first down for Nebraska. Tim James on the tackle.
You know, Ken Clark is an interesting guy. Last year, he got lost in the shuffle. Rushed for almost 1,500 yards because Barry Sanders had such a big year. People didn't realize how good he is. But the key to watch for Ken Clark today is how many yards he gets after he's hit the first time. He'll gain 2, 3, 4 yards after that first hit.
Against Barry Sanders last year, Clark ran for 256 yards in that game against Oklahoma State, out-rushing the Heisman Trophy winner. 1st and 10, Nebraska. Godowski now pitches to Clark. Clark to the 46-yard line. Flag down back at the line of scrimmage. 19-yard carry by Clark.
Boy, coming in today's games, the penalties have really hurt Colorado.
John Bostic has come in as a receiver. Godowski keeps. Godowski with room. Godowski to midfield and a first down for Nebraska. 35 yards for Jerry Godowski.
You know, one of those subtle things that help you win football games is faking, ball faking. He sticks the ball right into the fullback's chest, Carpenter. Walker, number 83, thinks he has the ball. One of the inside linebackers think he has the ball, and then he gets to the corner. He looks a little bit like a guy running to catch a bus, but don't let him fool you. He's got some pretty good foot speed.
Bostic had a nice block for him. He kind of caught up to that bus. Put the football in Colorado territory at the 48. Now steps back and throws off his back foot and out of bounds.
And boy, was Richard Bell, the wingback,
Second down and 10. Huskers inside of 3 minutes first quarter. Colorado leading 14-7. Late pitch to Clark. And he gains one. Football is loose. They're going to rule it down. Boy, that's the way to defense the option, isn't it, Pat?
Boy, and you know who was leading the defense was Dave McLuhan, number 12, the corner. He plays to the wide side. He has to cover the fastest receiver every time, and he's got to make physical plays like this. First, it's inside penetration that forces Godowski to pitch the ball. Salavea does his job. But McLuhan fights off one blocker. He's going to come to the left part of the screen, fights off the wide receiver's block, and then puts the stop on Clark. McLuhan has had a remarkable year for the Buffaloes.
McLuhan's father, Kent, played at Nebraska, and 6 years for the Raiders. Third and long, Godowski throwing, and a pass is over the head of Gregory.
Over the head because it was Alfred Williams, number 94, got his big paws up there. He is 6'6", and if you can't get to the quarterback to make the sack, you can do something just as good. Get the paw up, force him to throw the ball too high, and that is just what happened. Godowski could not follow through. The receiver was wide open, but the ball sailed high. You know, it's just little things, Jim. You talk about getting your hands up, play action fakes. Those subtle things add up during the course of a game.
You know, Nebraska didn't run a deep enough route either. They had to get to the 39, and had Gregory caught it, he only would have advanced it to about the 41 anyway. Stiggy with pressure gets it away. Campbell watches it sail out of bounds. Where did it go out? Spotted at the 21-yard line. You know, Pat, it's been a year that's really... Flanagan on the run. Mills can't hold on. Now he's raced out by Pickens. 2 players were charged with rape, but later acquitted. And during the summer, 2 starters in the defensive backfield for Coach McCartney were kicked off the team for disciplinary problems. But there have been no problems since that time. And Bill McCartney has taken measures to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Well, he's pulled in the reins, Jim, and if college football is ever going to get cleaned up, it's going to be head coaches and administrators and university presidents that are going to not allow those problems to happen.
2nd and 6. Flanagan had picked up 4. Hagan steps back and throws, and he is hit. The ball is incomplete. Wow. Just as he was releasing the football, Jeff Mills came barreling in there.
Jeff Mills, we have seen him twice this game already make plays like that. Broderick Thomas was the star on defense last year, but Jeff Mills has filled in capably. He can get up the field, rush the passer as he did right there. He's strong enough, has really strong hands, and has a burst to be able to run plays down from behind.
3rd and 6 for Colorado. Hagan fumbles. Football is loose, and it's recovered by the Buffaloes. I believe Jay Lewinberg, yes, the center, falls on it at the 20.
You know, Terry and Hagan is trying to look over some awfully tall guys. Now, this is a little different this year for Colorado. They ordinarily get him way to the corner of the defense, but he pulls up because of good penetration by Kent Wells, number 91. And then the ball comes right out of his hands. I think he was trying to change hands, and he was going to cut back inside.
Ruin to punt for the 2nd time in the opening quarter.
And he is concerned about a punt block possibility, so he talks to his up man.
Talked to Scott Phillips. And now the snap back. Pickens comes in on him. Ruin gets it away. That was close. Hughes on the return. Hughes breaks the tackle. Swings free and steps out of bounds at the 50-yard line. So the Huskers set up at midfield now. It is now time to present this week's Toyota Leadership Award. Final 30 seconds of the first quarter. A wild one with Colorado leading 14-7. Sam Schmidt in at fullback. Handoff to Clark. Oh, they're going to whistle the play dead.
That is
flag.
The third offside penalty for Nebraska already.
Clark and Schmidt now in the backfield. Schmidt, the fullback. Delay give to Clark. Oh, what a tackle by Bruce Young.
Bruce Young, the strong safety, did a great job there. And I think strong safety is one of the most difficult positions to play in football because you're asked to do so much. You have to come up and make plays like this. Oftentimes you have to fight through big old tackles and guards. They ask you to play man-for-man coverage. Well, Bruce Young has been able to do it all for the Buffaloes this year. Bruce Young, the strong safety. CBS Sports returns after this message and a word from your local station. We start the second quarter. Jim Nantz along with Pat Hayden and John Dockery. Nebraska, 2nd and 14 from its own 46-yard line. Godowski will keep it. He has all kinds of room. Past the first down inside the 40 at the 37. Tim James on the tackle after the 17-yard gain by Godowski.
Tackle by Bruce Young.
Yeah, what a first quarter, Pat. You mentioned the first time Nebraska touched the football after an interception by Tyrone Bird. Godowski and Carpenter hooked up on a screen, 51 yards for a touchdown. Back came Flanagan, a late pitch on the option, 70 yards to tie it. And then Campbell's punt return set up Colorado inside the 5 before Hagan took it in for the go-ahead score at the moment. 1st and 10, Huskers at the 37 of the Buffaloes. Gone with Clark.
Wow.
He is knocked down hard at the 35-yard line. Michael Jones and Chad Brown.
What a play by Michael Jones. I think one of the toughest things for an inside linebacker to do is fight through traffic and stay focused on a ball carrier. It's very difficult to do. But Jones held his ground, fought through a couple guys, and then put the stop on Ken Clark. He's a guy who makes all their adjustments, Jimmy, makes all their changes and their audibles on defense.
Ken Clark has been stymied to this point. 7 carries for 8 yards. Remember, he was held out last week against Iowa State because of sore knees. Been a problem for him since the opener against Northern Illinois. Oh, a stop of play here as Nebraska was showing either a reverse or a fake reverse.
It was a fake reverse.
Richard Bell was the man who was coming around, and Clark was running by him.
Dead ball. False start of the offense.
Well,
That's the 4th time, Jim, and again, I don't think we can emphasize enough how loud it is.
2nd down, 12. And again, Nebraska is stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
And Joel Steed was the guy, Jim, the nose tackle. And he has made a huge difference on this defensive team. He is right here. Good defense starts right down the middle. If you don't have a strong nose tackle in college football, you're going to see an awful lot of fullback plunges. Joel Steed, as a sophomore, has been, I think, the biggest difference in this defense this year. And the reason they're 8-0.
And again, he's just a sophomore, the youngest starter on this defense. Colorado has started the same 11 on D every game this year. 3rd and 13 for Nebraska. That last carry by Carpenter.
Well, he went out of bounds.
And a pass is caught inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
The receiver was out of bounds.
That receiver is Morgan Gregory. He was out of bounds, clearly out of bounds, Pat.
Now, in college football, if you get pushed out of bounds, you can come back in. But if he went out on his own momentum, top of the screen here. That is Morgan Gregory. Now you're going to see that he does go out of bounds. The question is, does he get pushed out? Yep. It was Dave McClellan, number 12, who pushed him out. Then he's allowed to come back in. Different rule than professional football.
Gains 32 yards. First and goal for the Huskers. Carpenter and Clark in the backfield. Lining up in the power I, with Turner coming in there as well. Godowski hammered down by Canavis McGee. We've talked about Williams. McGee mans the other side, Pat.
Well, I think it's the best pair of outside linebackers that I have seen this year. And what they can do is rush the passer, and then they can chase you down from behind. And they can play off the tight ends. They can cover backs out of the backfield. Number 96. Look, he fights off a big block there. That's the guard or the center. He fights through that guy. That's a big body to put the stop on Godowski. Very determined Canavis McGee this year.
McGee played his high school football at Wheatley High School in Houston. His coach was Kenny Houston, the Hall of Famer, who told him, don't play college basketball. You're 6'5". There are a lot of guys 6'5", play football. Second and goal for Nebraska. And Godowski just lobs it through the end zone, intended for Chris Garrett.
That is a nice coverage there by David Gibbs and by Bruce Young, number 7 and number 15. And the free safety, Tim James, number 17. Never got fooled. And I tell you, when you play a team that runs the ball as well as Nebraska, the free safety has the most difficult job in the ballpark because he's got to come up and support on that run, but then he can't get fooled on play-action passes.
Well, Pat, Joe Steed, you've talked so much about, had pressure on Godowski on that play. Third and goal from the 12 for the Cornhuskers. Godowski for Gregory, touchdown Nebraska. That's the combination that hooked up 32 yards inside of the 10 to set up the score.
That was a very nice drive by Jerry Godowski. A lot of question marks about this Nebraska team, Jim, as you mentioned. But I think they're answering a lot of those questions. Their coaches said they can compete with anybody, and they feel they can. They're doing it today.
Barrios to tie the game on the extra point. And he does. 14 all.
This was a little too easy, I think, Jim. On a passing situation, you can't give a wide receiver this much room. Gregory wide open for an easy score.
Seconds left in the second quarter. Nebraska and Colorado deadlocked at 14. Chris Drennan handles the kickoff chores and the long field goal attempts for Nebraska. He's a lefty as well as Barrios, the other kicker. Here's Pritchard on the return, and he does not make it to the 20. Knocked down at the 18. Hagan about to come out once again. 12:30 Eastern time. First and 10 for the Buffs. Hagan pitching to Flanagan again. No gain.
Wow. Unbelievable pitch again by Hagan, even though it didn't gain much. But one thing you learned there, Jim, if Reggie Cooper, number 17, the strong safety, is making the play on the quarterback, somebody should be open down the range.
Just scored the tying touchdown. He's from Denver. Flanagan on 2nd and 9. Nothing there for the Buffaloes. Pat Tyrants got him first.
Well, the passing plays, most of the 95 yards from Nebraska coming on that first pass, the 51-yarder. Hagan is 0 for 4. He had 1 intercepted and 2 batted down.
Bear in mind, Nebraska leads the nation in rushing, over 400 yards a game. It's nothing out of the ordinary. Nebraska has led the country in that stat 5 times during the 80s. This year, Colorado is 3rd.
Yeah, it has been an explosive year for Colorado, and particularly that man, Darian Hagan, who, Jim, I believe deserves serious consideration for the Heisman Trophy.
Hagan here running the option. He'll keep. Cut it back to the middle. Mills rides his back to the 28-yard line near a first down. Pat, you just claimed that Hagan should deserve Heisman consideration. It's hard to argue the importance of his role coming in this year in leading the Buffaloes to this point.
Well, first of all, think about the position he stepped into. The emotional loss of their quarterback, Sal Aunese, a big question mark, asked to not even play quarterback this year. He wanted to be a running back, but then with the loss of Aunese, they said, you've got to be our quarterback. The biggest question for this Colorado team this year was, how well was Hagan going to play? Well, he has played remarkably well, and he is the biggest reason they're 8-0. He has meant as much to his team as any of the other Heisman Trophy candidates.
That statistics you just saw, 6 carries, 16 yards. Don't forget that the touchdown run to Flanagan was all Hagan for the first 30 yards.
Yeah, all
the late pitch.
Yep.
They pick up the first down. Hagan tripped up momentarily. Now rush coming on him, and the pass is short of a wide open Mike Pritchard.
And it was short because of Pat Tyrant's. And there's the guy, Eric Bieniemy, led the team in rushing a year ago. And their emotional leader now, but Tyrant's did a great job of coming inside. As soon as he sees the guard pull, he shoots the gap and puts pressure on Hagan.
Eric Bieniemy, some had said would be a Heisman candidate before the season, but has been banged up. A hairline fracture of his leg, could play possible. Flanagan has to wait for the pitch, and now wrestled down by Reggie Cooper. That was 2nd and 10 for the Buffs.
And what a play by Reggie Cooper. Just fought through the block of Mike Pritchard. You know, J.J. Flanagan is a dangerous guy on the corner of the defense. And he had a blocker out in front of him, number 9, Pritchard. But Reggie Cooper just refused to get blocked. Just fought through, tossed Pritchard aside, and took care of it. So I was watching Reggie Cooper before the game. He's just one of those guys who looks like a player. You know, 6'3", 205, looks great in the uniform. The man looks like he can play the game.
From Slidell, Louisiana. Right next to Lake Pontchartrain. 3rd down and 11. Hagan with the rush coming on, looking for Campbell. I think he's overthrown him. Boy, I tell you, he really threw that one too. A great distance, about 60 yards. With the pressure coming on, Hagan, ambidextrous, can throw the football over 70 yards righty and over 50 yards lefty.
But the story today and why he has not been able to complete a pass is because of in the rush. Mike Kroll, number 88, is all over him. Kent Wells, number 91, is there to say hello as well. If they give him a little bit more time, he has an accurate arm, a big-time arm.
So Tom Ruin back in to punt on 4th and 11. He's keeping that average up that leads the nation. It's another dandy by Ruin. And Hughes on the return to the 27-yard line. We're approaching the midway point of the 2nd quarter. 2nd ranked Colorado, 3rd ranked Nebraska, tied at 14. Well, I could feel that blow up here. You know, Nebraska, speaking of streaks, has won 17 straight regular season games. We chronicle the fact that Nebraska has played in a pretty good Washington team and Oklahoma. 1st and 10, Nebraska from its own 27-yard line. Ken Clark trying to get unleashed, and he picks up a 1st down at the 40. He had a big gainer earlier, but it was called back because of a penalty. This one picks up 13, his biggest gain of the day.
I think what makes Ken Clark a very good running back is that he wants to be a better runner the next play than he was the last. You give him the ball 25, 30 times, which they can do, and he gets better and better as the game goes on. And again, notice the yards after contact. We mentioned that earlier, 3-4 yards after he gets hit.
All-time 3rd rusher at Nebraska, could pass. I am hit today and move into 2nd. Needs 140. Carpenter taking the pass from Godowski, moving into the Colorado side of the field at the 45-yard line. A gain of 15 yards.
Brian Carpenter is not your ordinary type of fullback, Jim. He is a guy with speed. who can break long runs. We saw him catch the 51-yard touchdown pass early in the game. He's a terrific receiver out of the backfield, as he just caught his second pass of the day, and he can block. They ask him to do a lot of things, and he does them all remarkably well.
You know, Osborne says that he's a new man this year, and he pinpoints it because of breakfast. Carpenter was missing breakfast prior to this year. Osborne told him, eat your breakfast, just like my grandmother tells me. Carpenter again. That's Clark. Clark runs into that wall of defenders by Colorado.
You know, it's an interesting game thus far. College football, so much a game of adjustments. The Nebraska team, Nebraska defense in particular, the last series, made some nice adjustments. Now Colorado's defense is trying to find its way, its adjustments. How do you stop Godowski on the corner of the defense? How do you defend the pass? And still, the power of Ken Clark. What you need is great down lineman play from Steed and Walker and Salavea.
Second down 10, 2 tight ends for the Huskers. Kratson, Stein, and Garrett. Godowski now plants his feet, was looking to throw. Alfred Williams on his back. Incomplete. No in-the-grasp rule in college football. That will go as an incompletion.
We talked about Alfred Williams, Jim, being a complete player. You are seeing it today. Remember, he got earlier, he got cut, he bounced right back up and made the play. We've seen him stuff tight ends, stuff the run. There he runs down the quarterback, Godowski, on a pass pattern. Again, there's a lot of people trying to block him. That time it was Chris Garrett, a tight end. He just threw him aside and grabbed on to Godowski. As you pointed out, no in-the-grasp rule.
5 tackles already by Williams, a couple of those behind the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10. Bostic lines up as the receiver, wide to the left. Godowski calls a time.
I think first of all, the most important is our faith in God. I think God has a plan for Sal out there. And second, just the family. You know, we've been strong, my brother and sister, my mom and dad, just the family support. But third, probably most important, is just the people around, everybody that's been concerned and cared about Sal, to show their love from California to Colorado, everywhere. So I give our thanks to them.
Okay, Joe, thank you very much, and good luck to you. Jim?
All right, Doc. Sal Aunese was 21 years old when he passed away of inoperable stomach cancer on September the 23rd.
3rd and 10, a very important down for the Colorado defense right here.
Godowski to Bostic. He would not have had the first down anyway at the 40-yard line.
Well, what they were trying to do is get the ball to him on the move, Jim. He was 5 yards short, but you hope that he can catch it on the move, dart upfield, and pick up the additional 5 yards.
Godowski kind of lost his footing and attempted to make the catch on his knees, so the ball would have stopped right there at the 40. He did have some room between the defenders. Stiggy now to punt to Campbell. Coming off that 47-yard return on the last punt. Stiggy aiming for the left side of the field. Good punt. Huskers, the bounce into the end zone. And a touchback. Out to the 20. Nebraska has won 20 of the last 21 games. 5-game win streak, which still stands as their all-time record. Inside handoff to Kissick. And Kissick picks up 9 yards. He doesn't get to see the football too often, but he made the most of it on that carry.
Yeah, they like to give it to him once every lunar eclipse, but I'll tell you, this guy is a great player. He doesn't need a lot of headlines. This is an unselfish football team, and the most unselfish player is Eric Kissick, the fullback. He went 2 games this year without ever even touching the ball, never complained. He's a dominating blocker, and when you give him a chance to run with the ball, he can do it just like that.
Consider he has tasted success on the ground. 2 years ago, he had 3 games where he rushed for over 120 yards. Now he hardly ever sees it. On 2nd and short, Hagan got the necessary yardage. Tyrants cut him under, but it's a first down for the Buffaloes.
In a game of momentum, 6:08 remaining in the second quarter, 14-14. What Colorado wants to do here is to move those chains, pick up the first downs, not necessarily a big play, use as much of the clock as they can, and go up at halftime with a lead.
Michigan State manhandled Indiana today, and Anthony Thompson. Hagan looking for Campbell again. Incomplete. Campbell seemed to jump a little too soon. And they're still going long against this Cornhuskers secondary. Mike Petco was putting pressure on Hagan, who is still looking for his first completion of the day.
You were talking about the domination of the Colorado program by Nebraska, but I think Bill McCartney has got this program on the right track. Came in here at 1982, didn't have great talent, threw the ball for 3 years. Then as he recruited a little better players, he moved to the wishbone because he thought he could do something with the option. And then he recruited guys like J.J. Flanagan and Eric Bieniemy and moved to the I formation. But Colorado's program is on solid footing now, believe me.
Second down at 10. His team aiming at an Orange Bowl. He played in 2 Orange Bowls when he was at Missouri as a player. Flanagan has some room and just short of a first down at the 40-yard line after a 9-yard gain. Cooper and Petco tackle him. We're on the campus of the Colorado Buffaloes, the second-ranked team in the country, playing number 3 Nebraska. And the game is tied at 14. It's been a game of big plays to this point. The Orange Bowl dangling before their eyes today. Each team 8-0 on the season coming in. 3rd and 1. This situation Colorado always conquers. Hagan leaps and hurdles his way for the first down.
You know, the real frustrating thing, if you're Nebraska, is you can't defend a play any better than that. I mean, basically, they had theoretically taken away all the options, but it was pure athletic ability by Darian Hagan. There's a lot of white jerseys. There's 3 white jerseys right there that should have put the play on him. He just hops over a couple guys. And again, he has a real knack of being able to find his way through traffic. Fun to watch.
Now inside 5 minutes. First down, Hagan. Just back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. Petco and Tyrants on the tackle.
Petco, number 37, is a guy that the Nebraska coaches were a little concerned about this week. This guy gets so fired up during practice. They had to pull him off the field on Thursday and say, Mike, relax. The game's 2 days away. Take it easy. Got a couple of days. You'll get a chance. But he can play inside.
Second down and 8. Pitch a low and fielded by Flanagan. Does a good job just to hold on to it and not lose the football.
And it was Jeff Mills again, Jim, who created the quick pitch. And one thing you don't want an option quarterback to do is to get into a rhythm. So you try to disrupt that by making him pitch the ball before he wanted to. And Jeff Mills did it for the 3rd time today.
Colorado comes to the line facing 3rd and 9 with 3:40 left in the second quarter. Tied at 14. Kissick offset from his fullback position. Flanagan the tailback and movement on the right side guard.
Yeah.
3rd and 14. And again the flags come. Tight end set. John Parrott, the starter, lined up on the left side. They'll pitch it, run it with Flanagan. Flanagan looking for the corner. He won't get it because Tyrone Bird was waiting for him.
Boy, has Tyrone Bird had a game so far?
He really has.
He steps in for the injured Marvin Sanders, intercepts a pass, stuffed a couple of plays down by the goal line to keep J.J. Flanagan out, and then makes a very physical play right there. This game is fun, isn't it?
You know, Tom Ruin, it really is. Tom Ruin, some might say, well, he's got the advantage of the high altitude in Colorado. His average per kick is better on the road than it is at home. Over 47 yards a kick on the road, 46 at home. He didn't catch all of this one.
He'll get a good bounce.
Hughes lets it roll around down near the 10-yard line. Indeed, a favorable bounce, 51 yards for Ruin.
Nice miss. It's like that 9-iron you hit sometimes.
It's like you. When you miss hit a 9-iron,
Yeah.
you're still all over the flag.
Right.
All over the flag.
You know, the defensive coordinator at
Gibbs, they both have really done a great job to gel this defense. worst starting field position for Nebraska. Good fake by Godowski, looking for Gregory, but over the head of Gregory.
Boy, that was a good fake. I want to tell you, the recipient of a pretty big hit was Ken Clark, who got smoked by Joel Steed, the nose tackle. Again, watch right there in the middle of your screen. Number 90 fought through about 3 guys. He smacks Ken Clark, but he doesn't have the ball. I mean, if you're going to get a hit, you might as well have the ball, I guess.
Mike Hankowitz, his defense trying to hold on. Could set up Colorado with one last shot before the intermission. Second down and 10. Sam Schmidt in the backfield. They run it with the wing, Richard Bell. And Bell is buried at the 9. Howe and Williams on the tackle.
Well, Gary Howe, number 95, with a big cast on his hand, has had a really productive year.
Timeout call by the Buffaloes with the 9-yard line. It's 3rd and 11 for Nebraska. Colorado has 2 timeouts remaining. Quarterback draw with Godowski, and he's short of the first down. Bruce Young came up. He saw it. He was not fooled.
1:42 remaining in the half. Colorado has 2 timeouts remaining. They want to score before half.
And they'll take another one here, leaving them with 1. CFA college football will be comes in at fullback. Flanagan remains the tailback. Hagan running it for 3 yards. Remember, 1 timeout left for the Buffaloes.
And Jim, for a field goal attempt, they need to get down to about the 35-yard line, 30 to 35-yard line, to have a reasonable chance for a field goal attempt.
Campbell to the left, Pritchard, bottom portion of your screen. 2nd and 7. Hagan rifles the pass to Hemingway and a first down. He tumbled and twisted his way for a first down. It's the first completion of the day for Hagan.
Again, what Hagan is doing, using the clock extremely well. 1:05 remaining. They don't start the clock until the chains are set. He's at the line of scrimmage and calling the play from there.
Same formation. From the 38. Hagan is hit on the blitz. Actually, Kent Wells got him. They came racing in there, the Cornhuskers. And Kent Wells, the senior from Lincoln, got him.
-7 on the sack, and that is a big play by Kent Wells, number 91. And he was looking forward to this kind of game. He said this is a smash mouth kind of game. Ran right over the guard to make the play.
Hagan stops the clock as he throws it out of bounds. That was a 2nd down play. So now 36 practice. Hagan. No, he's not down. Here he goes, Hagan. Wow. And he gets him in field goal range. He's short of the first down. It was a gain of 13. He is a wizard.
He is remarkable. It's like, you know, eating Jell-O with chopsticks, trying to tackle Darian Hagan. The guy does this thing all on his own. I mean, that should have been a sack. He had 3 guys that, you know, you think of him, if you watch him just for a short period of time, as a quick, clever option runner, but he is a powerful runner as well. He can break tackles.
I said he looks like a wizard. He's like a pinball wizard the way he's bouncing around.
Yeah, you try to keep up with him, Jim.
I can't.
I knew that coming in.
But that was the play, spinning away like that. It's 4th and about 5, but they're going to be able to attempt now a field goal with 18 seconds left. Probably will be about a 49 or 50-yarder.
You know, it's funny, Jim. The whole campus has been so excited about this Colorado team. One of the his
long of 89 is 47 yards. Culbertson has the distance, has the accuracy. Colorado leads.
I see you, Kenny.
Seventh time. You can't get much better than that. Plenty to spare. And again, a field goal really set up because of the athletic play made by Darian Hagan.
I said it's so frustrating playing against this Colorado team, and where I was talking to Charlie McBride.
Little pooch kick by Culbertson, and raced out to the 39-yard line by Tim Yunk.
And Nebraska has the ball in the second half, though, so their defense is going to have to stuff them first.
Gregory left, Bell in a slot left. Will Godowski try a long one here before the half. He does indeed, and he's got a man open. Wow, there were 2 Cornhuskers in the area, only 1 defender, McLuhan. And that pass, McCartney spot that 1 man, Bostic, was open. He got a defender over there in a hurry. He got McGee on the line, but it doesn't matter. They're running the football with Ken Clark. Clark picks up big yardage, but the half ends. 21-yard gain by Clark, but it's a 17-14 lead by Colorado, with the Big 8 championship and a first in the Orange Bowl and a possible duel with Notre Dame on the line today here in Boulder. 17-14 at the intermission, and Culbertson will kick to Nebraska, but not before the ball blows off and drives it midway through the end zone, and Bell will down it, bring it out to the 20. Bill McCartney spoke moments ago to John Dockery. Now comes the option offense led by Jerry Godowski and Nebraska.
This Colorado defense has not given up a touchdown in the third quarter all season long.
Only 2 field goals. Inside give to Carpenter, and a gain of 3. Terry Johnson on the tackle, along with Michael Jones. In the first half, the Huskers scored on their first play, and then punted 3 straight times before another touchdown. 2 more punts, and the half ended.
Neither team, Jim, on offense has really gotten into a rhythm. It's been a series of big plays, but good defensive plays that have forced them to kind of adjust.
Second down and 7 from the 23-yard line. Ken Clark, 10 carries, 42 yards in the first half. Most of that on the last carry of the half. Here he goes again. Clark gets the first down past the 30. He had to get to the 30. He got to the 31-yard line, and he's tackled by Michael Jones.
And again, what he does, as you saw there, is get on the corner on the edge of a defender. Nobody gets a clear shot at Ken Clark, and that's why he breaks so many tackles. There were 2 or 3 guys bouncing off his arms and his shoulder pads, but nobody ever got in front of him.
He's a hard runner. Tom Osborne says he loves it. He loves to watch when Ken Clark splatters people. They'll run right over you, that's for sure. First and 10, Nebraska. Clark, the middle, lost his footing. He should have gotten more out of that, only to the 33-yard line. Michael Jones in the area.
You know, Jim, talking about Ken Clark being physical, you know, he started this year really trying to be a finesse runner. Decided to change his style, but it wasn't working for him. He got hurt in the first game, and then about 4 weeks into the season, he brought out an old highlight film of Mike Rozier, the 1983 Heisman Trophy winner, saw how physically he ran inside, and he has gone back to that physical inside kind of running.
Second down, 8. They'll try Clark again to the 36-yard line. Tripped by Oakland Salavia. And we go back to the sidelines with John Dockery. John?
Hey, Jim, the weather conditions...
Jerry Godowski.
Oregon Gregory to the left. Washington's the tight end tucked on the right side.
Ooh, wow.
An immediate give to the fullback, and nowhere to go is Joel Steed, and that whole line of Colorado says you're going nowhere.
That is a great defensive play, and a big defensive play. I thought Oakland Salavia was going to intercept the handoff. Watch 99. I thought the ball was going to be handed to him. But it was Salavia, it was Steed, it was Walker, it was McGee. They're playing great team defense.
It was Oakland Salavia who last week, after the victory against Oklahoma, led the team into a Samoan prayer to honor Sal Aunese. And the kick by Stiggy comes to Campbell at the 26. He has an opening. Here he goes, Jeff Campbell. He may break it. He is run down by Richard Bell. great play by Richard Bell, because Campbell, who has great speed of his own, was in the open.
You know, again, I thought there was a clip there by number 6, right there in the back. It was the same player, Eric Hamilton. But what Jeff Campbell does such a nice job of, Jim, is setting up his blockers. And he doesn't waste any time. Every good punt returner that I have seen doesn't dance around the hole. He takes it upfield.
53-yard return. Colorado inside the 20 of Nebraska. Hagan to the 13-yard line. Tyrone Leggett on the tackle.
One of the most dangerous men on the corner of the defense in college football is Darian Hagan, because he can beat you with foot speed, he can run right through you with power, as we've seen, and he can pitch the ball from anywhere on the field. He'll pitch it at the line of scrimmage, and then he'll pitch it maybe 30 yards downfield. We saw that earlier.
Well, there's only one option quarterback you could really compare him to, those kind of moves. That's Jamel Holloway. Holloway is his hero. He grew up in Los Angeles, in the area, just as Holloway did. He saw Jamel first play in a Pop Warner game in the 7th grade. And Hagan running the option right this time, keeping it and getting to the 10-yard line, about a yard short of the first. Mills and Bird on the tackle. Colorado in the first half, their possessions, well, the interception by Bird, a punt, back-to-back touchdowns, including the second one set up by the Campbell return. 3 more punts and a Culbertson field goal. Campbell has set them up in great position again, but it's 3rd and short. 3rd and 1, Pat, from the 10.
Remember, Bill McCartney told John Dockery that if the free safety, Tyrone Bird, comes out and supports on runs, we have to be able to throw the ball. Bird just made that last tackle.
Kissick, Pritchard, and Flanagan in the full house backfield for Colorado. Flanagan, first down, Buffalo.
Anytime you're picking up first downs in 3rd and short situations, as often as Colorado is, it means your center and your 2 guards are doing a nice job. Jay Lewinberg, the center, Joe Garten, the left guard, and Darren Muhlenberg, the right guard, did a great job of getting off the line of scrimmage and pushing the line of scrimmage back.
First and goal from the 7. From the right hash mark, we'll run it left. And now the
throwing football team. They need Hagan on the corner of the defense to come up with a big play.
M.J. Nelson at the bottom of your screen. Flanagan, Pritchard, and Kissick in the backfield. Hagan will keep, running the short side, picking up a short gain. Mike Petco on the tackle to the 9-yard line.
They're talking to Eric Bieniemy.
Bieniemy putting the helmet on,
yeah.
Pat.
He is a guy that's run the sweep this year with great ability.
He's a guy, too, that Bill McCartney tells us, inside the 10, he is so focused on finding that end zone.
They've never had a great competitor, as good a competitor, inside the 10-yard line as Bieniemy. And he can also throw.
He's thrown for a touchdown this year against Illinois. Running the option, Bieniemy. He's going to throw. And the pass, flagged down. I believe it's intercepted. Tyrone Leggett has Bieniemy through.
You know, I've always wondered about a guy rolling to his left and throwing with the right hand, Jim. But they brought him in for that one particular play. He threw a big pass early in the year going to his left.
Now, the flag is an offensive interference. Leggett came down with the football.
Defensive pass interference.
Wow. First. So, take it away. Back to Colorado. The football goes.
Take a look. Again, Bieniemy rolling to his left. Pritchard, number 9, is the intended receiver early. And then behind him is M.J. Nelson, but he did push on him. Leggett, number 3, pushed off. You didn't see a push off there.
I really didn't see it in that. I think we caught it a little bit late. But the official standing right there. And the ball rests at the 2-yard line.
That's a side judge's call. And oftentimes on an underthrown deep ball like that, you're going to have a defensive back run through the receiver.
So, take away the interception. First and goal from the 2. Flanagan hit at the knees by Kent Wells. We've got another shot of that controversial play, Pat. Take a look.
And again, it's Leggett, number 3, who's going to come into the picture on the underthrown deep ball. Again, Jim, I thought on live action, I thought he pushed before he went up.
Second down goal. Colorado. Pritchard kissing Flanagan in the full house backfield. Pritchard in motion. Running the option. The late pitch to Flanagan. Looking for the corner. He has it. Touchdown, Colorado. You see a student in the background picking up an orange. Oranges are flying from the stands, and Colorado leads by 10.
Darian Hagan will show the defense the ball, and you have to attack the ball. And once you do that, then he pitches it to J.J. Flanagan, and no one's going to catch him on the corner of the defense.
Missed out on a touchdown attempt for Colorado. This ball will be down in the end zone by Tyrone Hughes. Again, Flanagan a year ago broke out into the open. Had a 43-yard touchdown run, apparently. But at the last minute, the ball just fell loose.
He said he's thought about it every night since then. Very important series here, Jim, for the Nebraska offense. Down by 10 points, 8 minutes remain in the third quarter, and all the momentum right now is on the Colorado side of the ball.
Carpenter and Clark. Jake Young snaps it to Godowski. Godowski running the option, and no gain. Chad Brown, redshirt freshman from Pasadena, California, makes the tackle. Nebraska, the leading rushing team in the nation. 400 yards a game they average. And in the first half, 117 yards.
And really, it's been because, I think, largely Arthur Walker, Alfred Williams, Joel Steed, and Oakland Salavia with McGee, the front 5, have done a remarkable job for Colorado.
Nate Turner to the left, Gregory to the right. Kratzenstein tucked in on the left side, out of the eye on second down. And again, no gain. Ken Clark hit by Walker and Steed.
You know, assistant coaches don't get enough credit. But Mike Hankwitz, the defensive coordinator for Colorado, said to us yesterday, we need to stunt to win this football game. You see all 3 guys in the down 3 position move. They didn't feel like they could just stand in there and take on that big Nebraska offensive line. So Mike Hankwitz, that man right there, has set up a nice defensive game plan.
3rd and 9 for Nebraska. Looks like a busted play. Godowski has a man open, and it's Richard Bell, the wingback, picking up the first down after the 13-yard gain to the 34-yard line. Godowski was looking around on the play action. Was that supposed to happen that way, Pat?
I think he was a secondary receiver, Jim, but how many times over the years have we seen wingbacks make plays at Nebraska? Good pressure here on Godowski. It's number 59, Jones, who gets up in his face. And I tell you, that is a courageous throw with that kind of rush on you.
The 34. Ken Clark slashing and getting to the 40-yard line. 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Colorado 24, Nebraska 14.
Jim, I really believe this is going to come down to be a fourth quarter game. Still a little under 6 minutes in the third quarter. But what offensive and defensive linemen here set the tone for the fourth quarter. Who's going to dominate the line of scrimmage the last 5 minutes of the third quarter sets up the fourth.
Second down, 4. From the Nebraska 40. Ken Clark hit first by Bruce Young. And Clark's about a yard short of the first down. Has to get to the 44.
We have seen Colorado convert third and short an awful lot, Jim, and now Nebraska comes up with their most important third and short situation in this game. 3rd and 1, trying to get back in the ball game, trailing by 10, and keeping the drive alive.
Signals coming in from Hankwitz. 3rd and a yard. 2 tight ends, Washington and Garrett. Carpenter and Clark lined up in the eye behind Godowski. And
when they're so precious, well, here's the reason why. Nebraska wanted to run that last play to the right. But see, there's 3 guys right here, including the free safety, Tim James, and that forced Godowski to call the timeout. As you see him move, they're shifting people around. They're causing the offensive quarterback to think. And again, another clever little move by Mike Hankwitz, the defensive coordinator, moving Tim James, his safety, around.
The wind really has picked up, as John Dockery alluded to. Nebraska's going into it, but will have the wind at their backs in the final quarter. 3rd and 1, Nebraska. Pitch to Clark. First down, Nebraska. And into Colorado territory at the 49-yard line. William Washington, the backup tight end, with a big block to help free Ken Clark.
You are absolutely right. Without the block of the tackle, Glazer and Washington on the right side, these 2 guys, this is not a first down. But watch how Washington locks on Alfred McGee, or Canavis McGee, and just blocks him for 3 or 4 seconds to allow Ken Clark to pick up the first down. That's a terrific block by Washington.
1st and 10. Clark goes out in motion. Bell runs it. And Bell gets to the 44-yard line. Tackled by Chad Brown. Back to the sidelines with the Dockster.
Hey, Jim, lest we forget, special teams are a very important part of this game. Jeff Campbell, 3 punt returns for 106 yards. He set up 2 touchdowns. He's hoping to get his hands on the ball again. He hasn't stopped walking up and down the sidelines since he's been out of the game. Back to you guys.
You know, John, it's no accident. They start every practice with special teams. They put an awful lot of emphasis on it, and that's why they're so good at it.
2nd down, 4. From the 43 of the Buffaloes. Godowski keeps. Fumbled momentarily and brought it back in. Tim James and Michael Jones put the pop on him.
You know, again, if that free safety, Tim James, is up there making plays like that, that means there's nobody back in center field. They ought to be able to throw the ball deep. As soon as the free safety makes a lot of tackles toward the line of scrimmage, you ought to be able to throw the ball up top.
It's 3rd and 2. Godowski's numbers, 8 carries, 62 yards. He needs 6 more yards to have the all-time rushing season by a Nebraska quarterback. Better than any single season rushing than Turner Gill or Steve Taylor, the current record holder. Godowski now dropping back, throwing, and complete to Kratzenstein for a first down.
That is a route that Nebraska has run since Bob Devaney was coach years ago. You fake the little sweep, the counter action, and you bring the tight end on the crossing route. Kratzenstein is not going to outrun a lot of people, but if he gets open, he's going to catch it. He doesn't wait for the ball to get to his body. He gets his hands right out there, but Godowski paid the price. 95, Gary Howe puts him to the turf. He is a tough, physically and mentally tough quarterback.
Carpenter, the lone setback. Bell and Turner on the wings. 1st and 10, Godowski keeps. to the 27-yard line. A 4-yard pickup. Dave McCluen from the corner makes the tackle.
Well, Jim, Doug Glazer, the right tackle, number 70. They say he's the best tackle that has ever played at Nebraska. And he does a great job of Arthur Walker. He knows the play is coming outside. He invites him to come inside and then just pushes him away from the play.
Played at Mesquite High School. They call him the Tank. 2nd down, 6. Going with Carpenter. And Carpenter to the 26-yard line.
So Tom Osborne faces his third down situation in this drive. The first 2 were 3rd and short situations. Now he's in a little bit longer, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 yards. Again, we have not seen them run the screen pass other than the first play of the game,
which went for a touchdown, 51 yards, Brian Carpenter. 3rd and 5 as the sun breaks out. Will the Cornhuskers. Godowski gets away from the first wave, looking at the end zone, man open. It's Chris Garrett, touchdown, Nebraska. Garrett's 3rd reception of the year, his 2nd touchdown. And the Cornhuskers can move within 3 with the extra point. Barrios, left-footed soccer-style kicker. Jerry Dunlap on the hold. 24-21 now, Colorado.
2 heavyweights going at one another, Jim. And again, to give the offensive line credit here first, because Godowski had an awful lot of time to get this ball off. And then Chris Garrett did a nice job of adjusting to the ball. And Nebraska is right back in it.
Blasted by Hawaii already this year. And struggling against Oregon today. The kick by Drennan, a short one into the wind. M.J. Nelson on the return. He's racing to the left side, looking for some more blocks. Gets to the 34-yard line. Pat, what about the national championship picture?
Well, there's a number of teams still involved. Obviously, Notre Dame, they go.
Florida State's in the picture with 2 losses. No team's ever won the national championship with 2 losses, but they have come back quickly in the top 10. Fumble football by Hemingway and fallen on by Leuenberg. The center has now smothered 2 fumbles today.
You know, it's funny you mentioned Leuenberg. He is the guy, number 52, the center, who was the biggest question mark coming into this season. But he's answered all those question marks. The ball was a little bit high as it was passed to Hemingway, but then he did secure it. And there was a big hit again by Tyrone Bird, who has played exceptionally well at free safety for the Cornhuskers.
Final half minute of the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 2 after the recovery by Leuenberg. Kissick's back in at fullback. Hagan's going to keep it. Has the first down to the 48-yard line. Wrestled down by Mike Kroll. And clock stops as they move the chains.
Mike Kroll, number 88, bottom left of the screen here, down here, I'm sorry, right in there. He is the guy who's reading the guy in front of him. Steps through the block of the back, just fights him off with awfully strong hands, and then steps back inside.
Well, they restart the clock once they move the chains. That is the end of the 3rd quarter. Colorado has won 28 straight games when leading after 3. They lead it right now by 3, 24-21, 15 minutes to go in the battle for the Big 8. We'll continue after this message and a word from your local station. It's the 65th year of playing football on the hilltop, as it's known. But there's never been a bigger one than this one today. And it's coming down to the final quarter with Colorado leading Nebraska 24-21. Jim Nance along with Pat Hayden and John Dockery. And Colorado on 1st and 10. And Hagan will tuck it in and gets tripped up near midfield by Mike Murray.
You know, we talked earlier about this being a game of memories. Well, Mike Murray, the nose tackle, a senior, only 5'9", 240 pounds. This guy will not have a long career in professional football at all. This may be his last really big game, but these kind of memories that he is having today, he'll have the rest of his life. This game means a lot to Mike Murray.
He was a walk-on, never even offered a small college scholarship, and starts at nose for Nebraska. 2nd and 8. Flanagan cutting his way, only for a yard. As we go back to John Dockery on the sidelines. John?
Hey, Jimmy, I'm with a man who's been in a few big games for Nebraska. Bob Devaney, what does Nebraska have to do at this moment to win this game?
Well, we've got to keep up playing good defense. We've had some fine defensive plays in this ball game, and then we've got to take advantage of that win in this last quarter when we got to win and see if we can't get a couple. It'd be nice to get a couple touchdowns on the board.
Are you surprised by Colorado?
No, I knew Colorado was a very good team, and I knew we had a good team, and I'm very pleased with Jerry Godowski, the way he's come up, and I just hope that we can win.
Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Jim.
All right, Doc, another first down picked up as the bullet pass from Hagan to John Perrick moves the football to the 35-yard line of the Cornhuskers.
And that was a frozen rope from Hagan to Perrick. And I think this was makes Darian Hagan a little bit different option quarterback than most people get a chance to see. He has got a strong and accurate arm. He's had some problems with the deep throws today because of the rush, but that ball was right on the mark to Perrick.
From the 35 of Nebraska. First down. Hemingway now the fullback. Hemingway with the football, and he barrels his way for 3.
If you're a lineman and you have a 3-point game, this is what you love. You like to give the ball to the fullback. You like a physical kind of game, smash mouth football. Both teams have called it. You want to seize the opportunity. You want the big fullback to run right behind you. And if you're a defensive lineman for Nebraska, this is your moment in the sun as well. Stunt, make a big play, make something happen. Give your offense a chance to come back and win the game.
2nd down and 7 from the 32. Hagan down for a loss by Mike Kroll.
Charlie McBride, the defensive coordinator at Nebraska, says that Mike Kroll is one of the best players I have ever been around. He's got the size you like. He's 6'3", 225 pounds. He'll tip balls. He'll block kicks. He intercepts passes. He jumps over guys. And that time he stops Darian Hagan.
Kroll came to Nebraska from Sudbury, Massachusetts. Brought his high school teammate Joe Sims with him. They're both juniors. They both play a key part in this defense for Nebraska. 3rd and 11. Hagan running left and into the open. Inside of the 20 and out of bounds at the 19. A gain of 17. Pritchard gave him a big block, and then he didn't know what to do with Bill Coleman out in front.
But you know, Jim, Darian Hagan has done it today with his feet, but that time he did it with his head, because this was an audible. He saw the defense overshooting this way, and he comes right around here, the defense overreacting. But this was an audible. Defense overshifted to the right. He came right back. Trying to follow the block of Bill Coleman. Coleman's not used to having that kind of speed behind him.
He may have scored had he cut it to the inside. On 1st and 10, it's Hagan again. He may get his touchdown here. No, he stopped at the 3-yard line. A gain of 17, 21 carries for 88 yards. Darian Hagan. Colorado coming into the teeth of its own student body section at this end zone. 1st and goal. Oh, is Hagan hit by Pickens, Bruce Pickens. He thumped Hagan as he was cutting it toward the goal line.
Well, Bill McCartney's team in scoring position today has had great success when they've run the option out wide. That time they forced Hagan to keep the ball, but they've been most successful, particularly in the first half when Hagan pitched the ball down here to Flanagan on the corner.
10:45 left in the game. Colorado leads by 3, trying to go up by 2 scores. 2nd and goal. Play is set, Herrick and Bowman. Hemingway, Pritchard, and Flanagan in the backfield. And again, Hagan is hit, and no gain. Jeff Mills and Ray Valido.
Jeff Mills just drilled Hagan that time.
Actually, a loss of a yard on that play, Pat. We're inside of 10 minutes now.
And again, the penetration here, Jim, that was the key. Good fake there by Hagan, but there's 5 white jerseys around him. And now Colorado is faced with the most important 3rd down of their season.
Valido threw him to the line with velocity. And now from the 8, same backfield. Pitch to Flanagan, and a loss back to the 11-yard line. Kroll comes up, along with Mills and Tyrone Bird.
I tell you, Mike Kroll did a sensational job of getting upfield. Number 88, left part of the screen. Hangs back, fights through Pritchard, the block, number 9. And then as Flanagan cuts back, he almost overruns it, but he has enough arm strength to still pull Flanagan down.
Culbertson will attempt a 28-yard field goal. This could be a series Colorado regrets. 1st and goal from the 2, a chance to go up 2 scores. They settle for the field goal. It hooks through there. It's good. And it's 27-21. Buffaloes. Less than 9 minutes to go, but Nebraska still within a touchdown. They will have to endure 9 agonizing minutes. And Nebraska will have the wind at its back. Down 6 with, again, an Orange Bowl spot on the line here at Boulder.
Jim, we've said a couple times it's been a day of big plays and a day of adjustments, both offensively and defensively.
Hughes and Flowers back deep for Nebraska. Into that wind, the kick only comes to the 12-yard line. Richard Bell on the return. No, that is Flowers. Leotis Flowers.
I go Green Bay, but that Ram-Minnesota game has been a rivalry, a natural rivalry for years. I played in it, looking forward to watching it.
You played in an NFC Championship game against the Bucs.
Yeah, you had to remind me, didn't you?
Ken Clark. Tackled by Tim James, but he gets all the way to the 39-yard line, just shy of a 1st down.
Okay, Nebraska down by 6 points as we start this 4th quarter, and or 8:26 remaining in the 4th quarter. They have the wind at their back. Now, over the years, they've won lots of games in this situation by pounding people, by running the pitch play, by throwing a screen pass. And this is where their offensive linemen over the years have really taken charge.
2nd down and less than a yard. Bostic left, Bell to the right. Now Bell in motion. And Godowski looking to go long to Bell. And McLuhan on the coverage.
I tell you, that was a nice recovery by McLuhan because he was beaten early by Richard Bell.
Not the best pass of the day by Godowski, but Godowski's had a good day passing. He's thrown 3 touchdowns.
Oh, wow. Is that a stretch? Is that a stretch? Rehearsing your ad-libs last night again, huh?
Hey, this guy, seriously, Pat, has accounted this year for 24 touchdowns. Godowski has rushed for 12. He's thrown for 12 touchdowns. And he's always overshadowed. Now he has a chance to drive Nebraska to victory. It's 3rd down and less than a yard. Ken Clark looking for it. He gets the 1st down and up to the 45-yard line.
This drive, Jim, may very well be for national championship because the winner of this game, I believe, will go on to the Orange Bowl and play for the national championship. Now, Colorado may not get the ball back if Nebraska can drive it here. They're grinding it out, 7:46 remaining in the fourth quarter. They're trying to eke out as many first downs as they can, still get the ball in the end zone and kick the extra point.
You kind of sense this could be a big drive here by Nebraska. Trailing by 6. With 7 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the contest. First and 10 from their own 45. Ken Clark. No, that's actually Nate Turner from a wing getting to the 49-yard line. Pick up a 4. Nate Turner.
One big old, see the right guard and right tackle there, Bill Bobora and Doug Glazer come out and lead the way for Turner.
Glazer, it's high honors to be able to be claimed as the greatest tackle in the history of Nebraska football. Label put on him by Tom Osborne yesterday.
And they asked him to do everything at Nebraska, and he's able to do it. Pass block, run block, pull.
Ken Clark is out. Leotis Flowers is the tailback. Second down. Flowers carries. He's hit immediately by Walker and spins back to the line of scrimmage.
And Jim, again, it was the stunt that time by Arthur Walker. He goes right by Doug Glazer, right here. Watch the stunt inside. Glazer just doesn't have a chance. He thinks he's going to play head up, but that's their scheme. Stunt, get into the gaps, and cause negative plays.
3rd and 5. Nebraska faced several third down situations on its last touchdown possession. Clark's back in the game, 3rd and 5. Pass caught, first down, Gregory. Morgan Gregory at the 41-yard line, tackled by McLuhan. Again, this is a guy, Pat Godowski, who just seems to get overshadowed, but his numbers are tremendous. Twice, throwing 12 touchdowns and running for 12. First down, he pitches it to Clark, cutting, looking for a hole, getting to the 35-yard line. Clark's kind of getting warmed up now, you sense, don't you, Pat?
He's one of those guys, the more you give Ken Clark the ball, the better.
They go inside with Carpenter, and he picks up the first down for Nebraska to the 30-yard line. And inside a
Colorado defense to come up with a negative play.
Chris Baugh comes in as a receiver. Double tight end set on 1st and 10. Ken Clark, only a yard. Gary Howe and Canavis McGee on the tackle.
I mean, this has really been amazing, this drive to me. We have seen Nebraska do a number of different things. Throw the ball in a critical situation when they had to. They've run the ball up the middle with Carpenter. They've run the ball outside with Power.
This is a very similar drive to the one we saw last week when we were at Penn State. Penn State drove it and utilized Blair Thomas almost all the way downfield before missing the game-winning field goal at the end. Now Godowski was looking to throw. He'll run it, and he's out of bounds at the 24-yard line.
You have talked about Godowski and how he gets overlooked. You watch film of Godowski and you think, he can't hurt me. But the more and more film you watch of him, the more concerned you get. Because that's a play they should have stopped him really for no gain.
Now he's got 10 carries, 71 yards, and with that run, he sets the school rushing mark in one season by a quarterback for rushing, breaking Steve Taylor's mark.
Well, Jim, again, you have mentioned that what's on the line for this game. A Big 8 championship, perhaps, a national championship possibility, and now the biggest third down for Nebraska on 3rd and 4.
Godowski looking to pitch, no one there, and Joel Steed had a hold of him.
What a play by Joel Steed. The nose tackles had a remarkable year in a remarkable game.
Tom Osborne calls the timeout. Now Nebraska will talk it over. They'll probably go for it here, Pat, on 4th down.
They may very well have to, but you don't think Joel Steed knows what's on the line? He knows the Big 8 championships on the line. He wants to be in the Orange Bowl.
There's a timeout. Nebraska will go for it. 6.
Over the years, Nebraska's had big plays out of the wingbacks.
Got one-on-one coverage with Bostic. But they go to Bell, and it's incomplete. The pass was short.
Colorado feels right now, this game is not over. 3:28 remaining. Nebraska still has one timeout.
Defense must shut them down right here. Not allow Colorado to pick up a first down. Hagan is tripped up right after the exchange. Kent Wells.
Biggest play of the year thus far in college football, 4th and 6. It was Bell, number 21, out of the backfield, but good coverage by Bruce Young, number 7, steps right in front of him. And that allowed, didn't allow any crease for Godowski to throw the ball. And Mike Hankwitz asked his team to get the challenge, meet the challenge. They did.
2nd and 13 after the big play by Wells. Hagan keeps swarmed on
their quarterback, a chance to pick it up for you on the corner of the defense.
Nebraska will get the football back. Mike Murray ran down the line on the option and stayed with Hagan. And now the Cornhuskers use their final timeout.
A day for memories for Mike Murray, number 74, the nose tackle. We've talked a lot about him, and that is all determination.
Nebraska, trailing by 6, will get the football and one more chance.
2 punts this season already.
Come charging in. Pickens came from the outside, but Ruin got it away. And now Hughes lets it bounce around. Poor judgment. And now Nebraska will have to drive 88 yards to get to Miami.
That's a ball he has got to catch. Hughes, number 33, has got to catch that ball. And that's an incredibly big play into that wind. 62-yard punt into a very stiff wind. I'll tell you, if Colorado goes on to the Orange Bowl, and if they win a national championship, that is as big a play as they've had all year. Special teams again. Colorado has had huge plays out of their special teams. Jeff Campbell on punt returns and Ruin there on the punt.
That ball did roll 18 yards. With the wind at their backs. 1st and 10, Nebraska. Godowski setting up a screen to Carpenter, incomplete. And the Buffs read that one all the way, including Chad Brown.
That was the play they ran the first play of the game for a touchdown. But that time, Chad Brown, the inside linebacker, read it beautifully.
No timeouts remaining. But they do have 95 seconds. Chip Baugh to the left. Gregory to the right. This is the end zone where it gets especially loud.
Nebraska has thrown the ball effectively this year when it's been a surprise. It is not a surprise now.
Godowski has Gregory open. Incomplete. The nickelback, Greg Thomas, came over and batted it away, but Gregory, for a fleeting second, was open.
Well, you know, virtually every player has contributed on this defensive team, but now Godowski facing 3rd and 10. The thing that goes through a quarterback's mind here is make sure my receivers get the 10 yards on the route. Don't run a route at 8 yards. Go 12 at least. And you want to get a ball to a receiver on the move.
3rd and 10. They run the football with Carpenter, and it only nets 2 yards.
Everybody will question Tom Osborne on that call, but it was a nickel defense. He thought he had a chance for a big play up the middle. The element of surprise, but again, the Colorado defense answered the question. Wow.
Clock is running, but more importantly, this is 4th down. This is the last chance for Nebraska. Godowski to Gregory, 1st down, and he's out of bounds. Boy, he had an open sideline ahead of him, but it's a Nebraska 1st down, and it stops the clock with 49 seconds.
Well, we have seen athletes respond to incredible...
72 yards away from victory. Godowski across the middle. What a catch! Wow, Richard Bell leaping up with one hand and bringing it down.
Great players respond in big games. And Richard Bell just made one of the best catches I have ever seen under this kind of pressure, because he is well covered. And Godowski throws it off the wrong foot. The left hand goes up and catches it in one pass, one hand, then he gets drilled by Thomas.
20-yard gain. The clock had been stopped to move the chains. Now it's put back into play. Left sideline, and incomplete. 2 Cornhuskers in the area. Bell again, incomplete. It actually, had he caught it and been stopped right there in the middle of the field, Nebraska may not even got another play off anyway.
Yeah, with 19 seconds remaining, they have to throw the ball way downfield. They can't just afford to try to get it in the 1st down. This can't be a 10-yard pattern. It has to be a deep pattern.
3rd down and 52 yards to victory. Too high for Kratzenstein. He was open.
That
reservations to Miami. Morgan Gregory. And he's tackled at the 42-yard line. They'll have to measure for a 1st down play to decide the Big 8. He's past the line of scrimmage. He's past the line of scrimmage, and it's incomplete anyway. Take it away, Doc.
Coach, an emotional victory. It's the biggest game of your life. Can you tell us?
Oh, yeah, it's the biggest. It's as sweet as it gets, and I couldn't be prouder of our players and coaches. We've worked real hard to get where we are, and we want to be humble in victory, but we want to enjoy it.
Darian Hagan, the key.
Hagan was sensational. Hagan should win the Heisman Trophy.
Special teams spectacular too, Coach.
Special teams were out of sight.
Congratulations, back to you. Okay, guys.
All right, he's touting his quarterback now for the Heisman. And Colorado now just a mere formality away from locking up the Orange Bowl berth. All they have left is Oklahoma State and Kansas State. To make it official, they just need 1 win. They should have no problem with that. It took 100 years of Colorado football to get in position to play for a national championship. It took about 10 seconds for the goalpost to come down today in Boulder. They've won it for Sal. They've won it for themselves. Colorado is now 9-0 on the season. This team, driven by the courage and memory of their deceased spiritual leader, Sal Aunese, who only hours before he passed away on September 23rd, wrote these words to his teammates: "Don't be saddened that you no longer see me in the flesh, because I will always be with you in spirit. Hold me dear to your hearts, as you know I do all of you. I love you all. Go get them and bring home the Orange Bowl." It was signed, "Love, Sal." The Buffaloes can now think of Miami. They'll be going to the Orange Bowl and probably playing for the national championship. Yes, they want Notre Dame here, the only team ranked ahead of them. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game. They are special teams leader Jeff Campbell. He ran back 2 punts, set up a couple of scores today for the Buffaloes. Former roommate of Sal Aunese, and Jerry Godowski, the quarterback from Nebraska, who fired 3 touchdown passes. A check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated by Chevrolet to each school's general scholarship fund to further assist qualified students in all chosen academic fields. What an afternoon it has been in Boulder. One they've waited 100 years of football for. 27-21. Colorado in a thriller against Nebraska. And the roar just echoes against this Rocky Mountain range as the celebration will continue into the night here. The pictures tell it all. And the final score again was Colorado 27, Nebraska 21. Next week, more exciting college